Hey guys, it's Tah. Welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate ya. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to play a TBR game. It is the first TBR game that I actually ever played. And me and Abby kind of made it up on the fly. And she helped me with it. So, I've talked about it before, but if you didn't know, I am doing the 52 in 52 book challenge where you read 52 books like it's supposed to set you for the year. But I'm almost done with it. And then I also have a book club, like I think it's literally called the Monthly Book Club on Facebook. And they had a reading prompt list as well. And then the 52 book challenge, they have many challenges that they'll issue here and there. And then also Claire Kingsley, which is an author that I do enjoy, she issues like a small challenge every month for you to fulfill like prompts with books. So what I've done is I've taken what's left, and so far I've only done what's left that I have in the 52 book challenge thing, and me and Abby put them in here, and we're gonna call this TBR game for the moment, because I don't know if I'll stick this route or if I'll eventually try like an actual game. We're gonna call it Let's Book It, because we wrote the prompts down and then Abby turned them into paper airplanes. So you book a flight, we're gonna book a book for it. So I think there's 13 in here. This is what's left on the 52 book challenge. And we're just going to use these for now. But next month I'll have all the prompts that I have left to fulfill in here. So we're going to do 5. I normally read more than 5 books a month, but we'll go ahead and start with 5 and see what happens. So let's see what we get for prompt number 1. Plain here. Okay, so this one is before the 17th century. So I have to find a book that fits this prompt by being set before the 17th century. So, what will I choose? Okay, first prompt was before the 17th century. I know you can't see that, but anyway, I chose Circe by Madeline Miller. This is set way before the 17th century. Basically, from what I can gather by reading it, this girl Circe was born, and she didn't have powers like her mother, or powers like her father, or beauty or whatever like her mother. She turned to mere mortals for companionship, and that's whenever she discovered she's like witchcraft, and Zeus banished her to an island, and she has to take on people like the Minotaur, Murderous Medea, however you say it, Odyssey. Anyway, she has to go and beat them or whatever. She has to protect what she holds dear. She must summon her strength and choose once and for all whether she belongs with the gods she is born from or the mortals she has come to love. So it's going to be her journey being banished, fighting all these different gods or creatures, the most famous figures in all of mythology, and she has to figure out which route she's going to go. So I'm excited to read that one. That one I've been looking at for a while. That one along with The Song of Achilles, but I'm going to read this one first. Okay, prompt number 2. This plane, and it is a book you think they should read in school. Now, some of the books, I know some of the books that are kind of on the curriculum, maybe not currently, and I know what we read, and some of the stuff we read when we were in school, they're not allowed to read now, or maybe they'll like phase those out. So we will see what I come up with that. The second prompt, which was a book you think they should read in school. Now, I know they read this in school. Some schools earlier on, I'm not sure if it's still there. I've never read it, but I've heard it is worth a read. But we will find out once I read it, and that is Lord of the Flies by William Golding. And as you can see, I got it at the Dollar General. So this one says, at the dawn of the next world war, a plane crashes on an uncharted island, stranding a group of schoolboys, at first with no adult supervision. Their freedom is seeming to something to celebrate. This far from civilization, they can do anything they want, anything, but as order collapses, as strange howls echoes in the night, as terror begins its reign, the hopeful adventure seems as far removed from reality as the hope of being rescued. So, yes, I want to read that. And it's not really that long. Looks like it's about, if you, let's see, the actual story itself is 202 pages. So, not super long. Number 3. Okay. Written and published by an author over 65. Book 3, prompt 3. It was written and published by an author over 65. And it took me a while to figure this one out. But I didn't think about this author because I've never read her before. And my mom does. And I've been saying I wanted to, but I never did. But I found this book at Ollie's, so I'm going to read Danielle Steele. She was 70, I believe. Either 70 or 71 when this book was published. So definitely written before, like after she was 65. That's what I'm going with. So this one is called Past Perfect by Danielle Steele. And it says, it's a spellbinding story of two families living 100 years apart and who come together in a startling moment, opening the door to rare friendship and major events in the early 20th century history. So, dual timeline, if I'm reading that correctly. Like I said, it's a story of two families living 100 years apart. So that'll be interesting to see how it comes together as you're going along. Because 100 years is a pretty long time, depending on oldest and youngest relatives there. Number 4 is a nameless character. Alright, book 4, prompt 4, was a nameless character. And this one I had to get help for because I don't know they're not nameless until I read the book, obviously. So I went to GoodReads and I went look at lists that people have posted. And I typed in nameless characters and quite a few books came up. But this is the one I picked, which is Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. And it is a Hulu thing, like it's on Hulu. Which lately I've been trying to read books that have an adaptation and immediately watch them. The last 2 were not the best, but I watched them. So anyway, this says, offered as a handmaid in the Republic of Gilead, she may leave the home of the commander and his wife once a day to walk to food markets whose signs are now pictures instead of words because women are no longer allowed to read. She must lie on her back once a month and pray that the commander makes her pregnant because in age of declining births, Offred and the other handmaids are valued only if their ovaries are viable. Offred can remember the years before when she lived and made love with her husband Luke, when she played with and protected her daughters, when she had a job, money, and of her own, and access to knowledge. But all of that is gone now. Funny, unexpected, horrifying, and altogether convincing, The Handmaid's Tale is once scathing satire, dire warning, and tour de force. I know a lot of people that watched the show and they really enjoyed it, so I figured I would read it and then I'm going to watch it after, because I have to look. I'm pretty sure it's more than one book. I could be wrong, but if you know, let me know down below. Is it more than one book, or is it just everything in this book? I don't know, but I'm excited. Number 5. Alright, this one is winner of the National Book Award for any year. Okay, so for the 5th and final prompt for this round is going to be the winner of a National Book Award of any year. And I chose Trust Exercise by Susan Choi. It was a 2019 winner, and this one says, both inventive and shocking, Trust Exercise became a sensation on publication in the U.S. for its timely insights into sex, power, and the nature of abuse. Sarah and David are in love, the obsessive, uncertain love of teenagers on the edge of adulthood. At their performing arts school, the rules are made by their magnetic drama instructor, Mr. Kingsley, who initiates them into a dangerous game. 2 decades on, we learn that the real story of these teenagers' lives is even larger and darker than we imagined, and the consequences have lasted a lifetime. Trust Exercise is a brilliant, unforgettable novel about what we lose, gain, and never get over as we're initiated into the mysteries of adulthood. So that one I found on audio because I did not own it, but I'm excited. It sounds like it's going to be really good. So we have these 4 plus the audio of Trust Exercise. Super excited. Like I said, this is my first actual TBR that I'm like picked for. I didn't just randomly grab a book off my shelf. So yay, I'm so excited to see how this is going to go. Sometimes I'm a mood reader. Sometimes I can set books aside and say these are the ones that I'm going to read next. And I do read them, but sometimes I don't. So we will see how that works in or against my favor. I tried to go for books that I owned because you guys know the hubby put me on that ban, which I made it to the point I can buy some new ones. So I figure if I can get some TBR off my physical, then I can buy even more. So that was the plan, and 4 out of 5 is not bad. I'm only missing 1 physical copy, so yay. Anyway, have you read any of these books? Did you hate them? Did you love them? Let me know down in the comments below. Again, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. That way you can see how I enjoy these books later on. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.